Hey everybody, this is Andy with Patterson Adjuster Training. Have you ever wanted to tag along with somebody who is doing a hail damage inspection? Well, today I'm going to let you tag along while I inspect the elevations on this home. Now, the one thing you're going to want to do when you start your inspection and each inspection after that is have a flow. What I normally do is I start here on the left front corner and then I go to the right elevation, rear elevation, and I finish up on the left elevation. So I'm going to start here at this corner. So anything I find facing south is going to be on the front elevation scope notes. Anything facing east, which is the right elevation, is going to be on the scope sheet for the right elevation, and then so forth and so on. Okay, so I'm going to start with the gutters here. Looks like they may have, I don't think this is hail, but you can take your chalk and go up and down. See, there's something right there, but it looks like there's a dent there too, but it goes this way. That's not hail, and that's probably the mower kicking something up. And so one of the things, if you're new, is you don't need to measure every gutter. And so I'll show you. So you've got a foot there, and then so that's 8 feet plus the foot up there, plus we add a foot for each elbow, so that's 10 foot. So if I find damage on any of these gutters here, I'm just going to write down 10 feet. There's no sense in measuring every single gutter. And then while you're on the porch, you're going to look at the gutters. The way the sun is hitting this gutter, I can really see the gutter good. It's creating like a shine, and I don't see any dents in the gutter, and we'll check them again when we get on the roof. Even though this is probably protected from hail, I always check the windows underneath the porch. It's got a tear there, but that's probably not hail since it's got a 6-foot porch overhang. And these windows, this vinyl piece covers the actual window frame or window screen frame, so they're probably okay. If you're going to get hail, generally you're going to get it on these metal frames down here or up here, but these look fine. Okay. One thing you can also do, if you have a bright flashlight, you can take your flashlight and shine it up the gutter or down the gutter, and it creates shadows where the hail is, and you can really see the hail damage pop out. These look fine. The other good place to look for hail is you've got these flexible downspout kickouts. This plastic gets brittle over time, and hail will just destroy it. Now these are actually in pretty good shape, so they probably got some bounce to them, but if these are 5-6 years old, they're just going to be destroyed by hail. They look good. So as I'm walking, I'm looking at this gutter face. Everything looks good. The sun is hitting these gutters really well, where I can see kind of a sheen, and I don't see that there's any hail. Now on this side, there is a dent, but I don't think that's hail because it has a really sharp point right there. But I will make a note of it on my scope sheet, just like I did the other one. Okay, so we finished up the front. I honestly didn't see anything. You got those two downspouts that have some damage, but I don't think that's hail. One of them looks like something hit it with a lawnmower. We'll discuss that with the policyholder, but anyway, the front looks good. Gutters and downspout look fine. No gutter screens are damaged. So now we're on the right elevation. First thing I look at is these lights. You've got some paint coming off here. I don't think that's hail just because I haven't seen any on the front, but I will make note of that on both of them. So what you can do on these garage doors is you can take your light and shine it down a panel or shine it up a panel, and you can really see the dents really well if they've got some. So this one looks good. Now, what I wanted to point out, so if you have a garage door and you have damage on the bottom two panels, but you don't have any on the top two panels, this is probably just dents from life, meaning kids banging it with their soccer balls, basketballs, or bikes or whatever. If you don't have any damage around the house, or you don't have any damage to this elevation, and a contractor says, hey, all these dents are hail damage, probably not. But each claim is handled on its own merits. You've got to look at the property as a whole and figure out what is payable under the policy. Okay, so that second story window up there, I'm not gonna bring my ladder around there to check that. I didn't see any damage on the front elevation or the right elevation. Chances are it doesn't have any damage, so I'm not gonna take the time to get my ladder around here and check that. Okay, so now we just turned the corner, we're on the rear elevation. This gutter is in pretty bad shape. You can see these dents here, and you notice it's really sharp. There's a kind of a horizontal crease here. That's a really sharp dent. You've got a horizontal crease there, and same thing down here. Something has hit this gutter down here, and the damage up here is probably separate, but the other thing I was going to point out is you can see the orange peel on this finish. Hopefully it shows up on camera, and that's a good way to know if you need to add paint. So if we were going to replace this gutter, we would need to paint it as well, because this gutter is painted. So we'll continue on looking at the back of the house. And what I wanted to say too is the sun is out today and is creating shadows, and it's not great for photography or video. The conditions on your inspection are not going to be perfect, and you're going to have the sun in your eyes. It's going to be early morning. It's going to cast some shadows on the roof or the back side of the house, or it's going to be late in the evening, and the same thing's going to happen. Conditions are very rare where they're perfect for hail damage inspection. So let's continue on. This is a good place to look for hail. This is a metal dryer vent, and I don't see any damage there, but what you can do too is take your chalk. This chalk isn't working out very well, but I can see there's no damage there. And this is the north side of the house. In this area, this is where the storms typically come from, so this thing probably would have been blasted if there was hail. And then we'll check the gutters, check the gutters as we go along. We'll check the frames of the screens, and they look good. The screen fabric itself looks fine. These windows are a little bit different than most of them I see, because this vinyl lip covers, or window screen part of the frame that's exposed is down here. And those look fine. In these areas where it's really shady, the flashlight works really well. You can shine it down. A lot of people use chalk too, but if I can, I use my flashlight, because I think it looks tacky when you leave the policyholder's house and it looks like you've been out here playing with chalk on their house. So if you want to do some sidewalk chalk, that's fine, but don't chalk up all their gutters. So I use a flashlight most of the time. What I wanted to show you here too is you've got this algae here, and a lot of times after a hailstorm you're going to see little spots like this where the hail has hit and knocked the algae off. I don't see a whole lot here. Now what you've got over here is sometime during the night an animal came by. Okay, so check the grills, because if this is damaged, the policy pays for personal property damage. And you can really just lift it up, look around. Sometimes you can look inside of there and see some dents. That actually looks pretty good. I don't see any damage there. All right, and over here, kind of the same thing. If we had damage to this grill, what we would want to do is take a picture of it and see if you can find the model number on here somewhere. And if you can't find the model number, what you're going to do is look and see how many burners it has. So it's got 2 burners, it's got 2 side tables, and it looks like it's a Char-Broil Classic. So if this was damaged, I would put it on my notes. That way we could add that to the claim. Okay guys, so we're on the left side of the house, which is west. And you always check these AC shrouds, AC covers. Sometimes these fans will be dented as well. They look fine. Always check the fins too. Now I want you to notice on this one, you've got probably a gap of like 3/8 inch. It's possible hail could get through there and damage it. It's very unlikely though. If there was damage on these fins, take this cover off and then comb it out, and it looks just like what it sounds. There's a little bitty comb that comb those fins back out. Does it look perfect? No, it doesn't, but that's the repair for that particular damage. Now, if you have one of these AC units like the older models, they didn't have a grill on there like this. It was a lot wider gaps, and so hail would just blast these things. If you get so much hail to these AC units, you're just going to have to replace the entire AC unit. And then you get into, do I replace the inside unit too? Well, that's a claim by claim situation. Okay, over here you've got another one, and you can see hail is probably not going to get through here as easily as it would there. Looks pretty good. Another good place to look for hail is up here. You're going to see where hail has hit it and knocked the algae off. Looks pretty good. These little fins usually dent pretty easy. I think all that looks really good. So we're done with the inspection, but I wanted to thank you guys for tagging along with me today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you found some value in this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have more of these videos coming out. They're going to be tailored to the new adjuster who wants to get into this as their career. I think these videos will really help you. Y'all have a great day.